Hello friends, I'm Raz, and in today's video I'm going to share with you a cue card which is describe a situation when weather affected your work or your plans for the day. You should say, what did you intend to do? How did it affect you? How did you spend your time? And explain how you felt about the weather or if it affected your mood. So an idle answer that I'm going to present today is, well, just last weekend my plans were ruined by the weather. Like I said before, the weekends are usually when I'll travel back home and visit my parents and family, so that was my plan for the last weekend. I'd arranged my schedule and made sure I didn't have any studying or other things pending. I'd worked during the week to free up the weekend so I could relax and spend 2 days back home. But on Friday afternoon, the weather started to change look, and by Friday evening, when I had planned to leave for home, there was an incredible storm which I experienced. The rain was torrential with a wind that was gusting, with a lot of roads were reported as being flooded and traffic stopped in various places in the city. I called home and spoke with my mother, and she told me that it was the same there and that I shouldn't travel in such bad weather because I might get delayed. I was a bit sad, but the weather was so bad nobody really wanted to go out at all. In fact, the journey from the office back to my apartment was horrendous. The traffic was terrible, and by the time I arrived, I was completely soaked because of the rain, so I had to admit that traveling all the way home would not have been a smart choice. I waited for a couple of hours to see if things would change, but it didn't. So eventually, I gave up on the idea and started to think what I could do instead. I decided to phone a couple of friends and see if they wanted to do something together. So we got together on Saturday and we spent the day together. In the evening, we went to see the movie and then went to a restaurant for a meal. The weather still wasn't great, but it was at least possible to go out without getting absolutely soaked again. On Sunday, I decided to have a lazy day, just reading, relaxing, and then another friend came to visit me in the evening, and so we chatted for a while and then watched a movie in the evening. Alright, so now the follow-up questions will be, the first one is, how many seasons are there in your country and what are they? So you can say there are basically 4 seasons: summer, winter, spring and autumn. Next question, describe the weather during these seasons. So you can say, okay, so in the summer it's incredibly hot sometimes and it runs from around May through to October typically. It's mainly hot and dry, although there are some days when there might be rain showers, but they're not really very heavy and they don't last for long either. Then around the middle of the October or the beginning of November, the winter season begins. The temperature drops quite dramatically and there's a lot more rain and wind than in the summer. During the day, there's still quite a bit of sun and sometimes it can feel warm, but by the evening it can feel really cold some days, and in the middle of the night it gets extremely cold. Alright, so the next question is, what kind of weather is preferred by people in your country? So you can say, generally speaking, most people prefer the hot weather in the summer, although it can be a little uncomfortable at times when temperatures soar in July and August. There are some people who prefer the winters because it's easier and more comfortable to work, for example, when the temperature isn't so hot. But the majority of people like the summertime because they get to spend more time outside and there's a lot of tourist activities in the summer, so things are a lot busier and livelier. Young people like to spend a lot of time at the beach and doing activities outside. Okay, so the next question is, how does the weather affect people in your country? So you can say, It affects people in different ways, or not at all in some cases. Some people are just happier in the summer because they like the warmer weather, and likewise some people are glad when the winter comes because it's a nice break from the intense heat of the summer. And then there are people who like both seasons. Personally, I get a bit sad when it's too cold in the winter. It's just not very comfortable when you go outside, especially when it's raining and cold at the same time. It's horrible. The next question is, what kind of activities do people do in the different seasons? So you can say, during the summer, most people spend a lot more time outside. They might spend time in their gardens or walking, and they get indulged in sports activities and spend leisure time in sports clubs and gyms too. In the winter, it's different. Almost nobody prefers activities like swimming as it's too cold to swim. So people spend more time inside than outside, and so parties and events in the winter are all organized indoors, whereas in the summers most of them would be outdoors. I guess we do typical things inside like watching TV, movies, meeting friends for a drink or meal and other stuff, just inside more than outdoors. So thank you friends for watching this video, and keep watching more IELTS Cue Cards videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.